Coming up on SBU TV, the Reilly Center gets a new look and we take a peek at the intricate art of tractor pulling. Hello and welcome to SBU TV. I'm Dakota Ward.
And I'm Jackie Roberts. The St. Bonaventure community will welcome several new students from the Caribbean as a new part of a program related to Bona Responds. Bonas Beyond is the name, and about 20 students from Haiti will take classes and live the life of Bonnies for 3 weeks.
I mean, some classes clearly are made just for them. I mean, we're going to have some on environmental science, we're going to have a solar program, we're going to have someone talking about water.
Mahar believes the program will benefit both the Haitian students and the Bonaventure community.
Students or faculty or anyone else, it's open to everyone. Some of the struggles that they've had, I mean, these people have lived through earthquakes, they have, cholera epidemic, extreme poverty. They're going to take this knowledge back with them. It's not like a donation that just disappears. This is something that continues to give.
The plan is to make Bonas and Beyond an important part of St. Bonaventure's service program for years to come. To get more involved, visit facebook.com/BonaResponds.
I'm a dog person, and it's easy for me to think of my favorite breeds. But is there one breed that's getting a bum rap? Jackie reports.
A dog is man's best friend. That is, for the exception of one breed. The scary, violent, and hyper-strong Pitbull. For years, we've heard horror stories about these canines. But how much of that is actually true? To dig deeper, I spent the day at the SBCA in Cattaraugus County with these so-called killer dogs. Here at the SBCA, there are over 40 dogs that need to be adopted, but caretakers say Pitbulls have a harder time finding homes. This is G. He doesn't look so scary. He's one of the many Pitbulls here who is abandoned and is waiting to be adopted. Although campaigns like Blame the Deed, Not the Breed have tried to salvage the Pitbull reputation, more Pitbulls are abandoned, surrendered, and killed each year than any other dog breed. As the numbers of Pitbulls in cages are on the rise, perhaps if they were thrown a bone once in a while, they wouldn't have such a rough reputation after all. With SBU TV, I'm Jackie Roberts.
SBCA is also looking for more dog walkers this fall.
Bonaventure students are complaining about new foldable seats being added in front of where they sit for basketball games. For more on this story, here's Nick Konotopskyj.
Hi, I'm Nick Konotopskyj with SBU TV. I'm in the Reilly Center, home of the Bonaventure basketball team. Starting this season, a row of luxury seats is being added in front of the student section for all men's basketball home games. I talked to the Director of Athletics, Tim Kenney, about the upcoming changes this season.
We thought this was the best option, and it's not a knock on anyone. It's kind of trying to do what we know has to be done from a liability standpoint, but then we found a way to make it a win-win where we can make money.
The season ticket packages, is it just for season ticket holders, or can you buy individual seats down on the court side?
That's going to depend upon where we are come middle of next month when we go on sale individual. For the most part now, I believe we're at 38 of the 46 to 48, depending, already gone. Okay. They're already taken, so we'll go that on a game-by-game basis, and which also I might add, we're going to monitor it too on a game-by-game to see if some of the concerns that people have said to me are true. If they are, then we'll have to look to tweak it or maybe change it by the end of the year. We'll see. It's a change. It's not easy. Change is never easy. However, people need to understand there's more underlying things than just us putting a row of chairs along the floor.
Individual ticket sales start next month, including a limited amount of courtside seats. With SBU TV, I'm Nick Konotopskyj. Don't forget, the first men's basketball game of the season is November 7th here at the Reilly Center against Mansfield.
For more information on this story, go to gobonnies.com to find out more.
Tradition with the mix of tractors and dirt. Let's see how this community spends their weekends.
In the small village of South Dayton, New York, there is a dirt track behind the local fire department which holds an event that takes place a few times a year. Tractor pulling. Dave Ivett has been competing in the local competition since the beginning, 20 years ago.
I own a total of 22 tractors. I normally only pull about 4 or 5.
Along with Ivett, many people bring their tractors to pull in the competition.
We have on Sunday, normally we limit it to tractors that are 1970 and older. But on the fall pull, we open it up, and so any year tractor is eligible. If you want to bring your modern tractor down, you can.
The event is for all ages and supports the local fire department.
Guys and gals and people of all ages pulling. There's some old people like me, there'll be kids, there'll be gals. It's a lot of fun, and if you like to watch older tractors compete against each other, come on down. We'll have food and drink, and it's something to do on Sunday afternoon, and we'll have a fun event.
The gates open at 10 a.m. and the pull begins at noon at the South Dayton Fireman Grounds. For SBU TV, I'm Dakota Ward.
Dirt will be flying at the tractor pull this Sunday. You can find more information on enchantedmountains.com.
What's your favorite kind of burger? Natalie Kucko has the cheesy scoop on the latest from Burger King.
In the ever-changing fast food industry, restaurants such as Burger King are doing everything they can to attract attention to their brand with a bit of controversy.
We caught McDonald's pretty much unaware. I think, they decided that they were going to take this opportunity to connect themselves, link themselves with this Peace One Day initiative. Use that as an opportunity to help elevate their brand, in part by linking it for a few weeks with McDonald's.
Okay. Burger King has teamed up with the Peace One Day campaign to raise awareness for International Peace Day. The company's goal is to collaborate with another fast food chain and create a one-of-a-kind burger.
Burger King saw an opportunity to say, let's make peace with McDonald's for one day in this pop-up restaurant. And for them, it got them their 15 minutes of fame. Doesn't look like it's actually going to come off, though.
Reilly Wigsten, former president of the American Advertising Federation, had this to add.
So I think that's really smart for a few reasons. One, creating a store costs no money for an advertising budget. It's just a drop in the bucket. And then two, it brings the idea of exclusivity into it. So if they make it exclusive to this one place, then it'll become not like a tourist attraction, but it'll become something that people will want to go to.
Since McDonald's rejected Burger King's offer, other businesses have reached out. On September 21st, Burger King will make peace with the company they choose. For SBU TV, I'm Natalie Kucko.
Burger King plans to unite with a willing company to debut their new product on Peace Day.
You may have heard that St. Bonaventure is no longer offering free cable to residents on campus. But was cable ever free at the university? One of the most alarming things to students living on campus this year is the loss of what they consider to be free cable. Some feel as though it is unfair to expect students to pay for television services out of pocket. However, Associate Provost and Chief Information Officer Dr. Michael Hoffman reassures us nothing is ever free.
We've been surveying the student body for a number of years on cable TV usage, and the numbers continue to decline. Cable TV was never free for the students. Nothing is free. We were paying a large sum of money on a monthly basis to Time Warner to provide basic cable TV to all students. So in effect, student tuition dollars, both on and off campus, were subsidizing cable TV for the population of students that lived residentially on campus.
Hoffman added that the school agreed to reallocate funds to increase the bandwidth speed, giving students, faculty, and staff a better and faster internet connection.
In June, we also tripled the bandwidth, and that was sort of the switch that we made to allow for better video streaming experience from student computers.
To give students the option of using cable here on campus, the university put cable boxes in residential areas such as Francis, Shea, and Laughlin Halls. According to a new study conducted by the Huffington Post, almost a quarter of young adults between 18 and 34 who subscribe to Netflix or Hulu don't pay for cable.
Today marks the 14th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. SBU TV's Brittany Slomba reports.
There's any kind of an effort up there yet. Now remember, oh my God.
Oh my God. That looks like a second plane.
Students, faculty, and staff will gather here today at our 9/11 memorial for a prayer service at 12:20 to honor those who lost their lives. I asked the members of the St. Bonaventure community what their memories of the tragic events on September 11th are.
I was actually teaching a course that morning on conflict resolution at the West Valley Nuclear reprocessing plant. And then all of a sudden, some members of the security force for the West Valley Nuclear reprocessing plant came into the classroom building and said, "We're closing the building and anyone who's not directly working for West Valley has to leave. The reason was they were concerned that there could be other terrorist attacks, and because this particular facility was reprocessing spent nuclear fuel, they were afraid a plane could hit that, for example, and cause an environmental catastrophe in Cattaraugus County.
I'm from Washington, D.C., and so when 9/11 happened, I was in the first grade. The other biggest part that I remember about all of it was how all my neighbors were involved. So my one neighbor was in the Pentagon when it happened and was really close to where the plane had hit. And that's something you don't realize until you're older, how much it could have affected my life. It was very close to me when it happened, but I think growing up you learn a lot more about it than when you're little.
Although the attacks on September 11th were 14 years ago, the St. Bonaventure community remembers it like it was yesterday. For SBU TV, I'm Brittany Slomba.
The memorial service will be held outside of the Swan Business Center and Plasman Hall.
An infamous businessman running for president, and now a rap mogul announcing a future bid. Are Donald Trump and Kanye West truly fit to run our country? Sammi Arena seeks out for a second opinion.
An erotic acceptance speech.
Like me more. Bro!
Giving out a fellow candidate's personal cell phone number.
202-228-0292.
I have decided in 2020 to run for president.
Kanye West announcing his presidential candidacy on the VMAs, and Donald Trump's brutal honesty in this year's political race. Are these two celebrities making a mockery of our nation's political system, or is this the future for our country?
I don't understand it, bro!
Neither do we. Dr. Richard Lee, former Deputy Director of Communications for 2 New Jersey governors, gave us some of his insight on the controversial presidential candidates.
People did not take Donald Trump seriously until the first presidential debate, when he kind of dominated that. And it looks like he's making a serious run at the presidency, and his numbers keep going up in the polls. I think that may be something that encouraged Kanye to perhaps get involved.
We took to the streets to ask millennials if they would vote for the self-proclaimed Yeezus for president in 2020. Do you think you would vote for Kanye West for president?
Absolutely not.
Why is that?
I think he's an absurd individual, and he's not fit to run a country at all.
I can't see myself voting for him, no.
No.
I'm voting for Kid Rock.
Absolutely not.
He needs to stick to rapping, you know, producing. That's his thing.
Listen to the kids, bro!
Maybe Kanye should take his own advice. The kids have spoken, but the question now is if Kanye will really run for president in 2020. For SBU TV News, I'm Sammi Arena.
I guess we'll just have to wait for 2020 to see how the story ends, Jackie. That's all for us here at SBU TV. I'm Dakota Ward.
And I'm Jackie Roberts. Thanks for watching.